There are these places all over the world, ghost towns, spots that were once just buzzing with human life, but are now completely silent. But you know what? Their story doesn't end there, because when people leave, something else moves in. So let's dive in and see what happens when nature decides to take over.
I think this quote just captures it perfectly, right? It's all about nature's incredibly patient but totally persistent reclamation of what was once hers. We're going to look at 6 incredible spots that have been completely taken back by the wild.
It's a fascinating question, isn't it? I mean, when all the noise we make, the cars, the talking, the building, when all that just stops, what do you hear instead? And what does it look like? Let's go find out together. All right, first up, we're heading to places that didn't just fade away. Nope. These are cities that were silenced by something sudden, something catastrophic. These are places where life stopped in an instant, and nature became the new kid on the block. So, these first 2 examples, man, they really show you how fast things can change. Over in Pripyat, Ukraine, you have this modern city that was literally frozen in time by a technological disaster. And then in Krakow, Italy, you've got this ancient town that was basically swallowed whole by the very ground it stood on. And this is the year it all went down for Pripyat, 1986. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster hits, forcing a complete and immediate evacuation of the entire city, a city that was a real point of Soviet pride. And think about this. That's 50,000 people, 50,000 lives. They were told they'd be gone for just a few days, so they left everything, creating this eerie modern-day time capsule. So, what does Pripyat look like today? Well, it's pretty much a forest. You've got trees literally pushing up through the floors of apartment buildings, and all around, toys, books, just sitting right where they were left all those decades ago. It's haunting. It's like time stopped for people, but for nature, it hit fast forward. Okay, so from a very modern disaster, let's jump way back in time to an ancient one. Krakow is this stunning medieval town in Italy, just kind of perched on this hill, almost daring gravity. But that very location ended up being its downfall. A series of landslides and earthquakes forced everyone out, leaving nothing but silence to echo through those ancient stone streets. All right, next up, we're looking at a totally different kind of abandonment. These are the boom towns, cities that shot up almost overnight, all for one specific reason. And when that one thing vanished, well, so did the people. So yeah, we're talking about 3 very specific, very valuable resources that built, and then just as quickly unbuilt, these 3 pretty unique places. We've got diamonds in Africa, coal in Japan, and good old-fashioned gold in the American West. Okay, just picture this for a second. It's the early 1900s, and suddenly, popping up right in the middle of the Namib Desert, is this perfect little German-style town. I'm talking a ballroom, a hospital, even its own ice factory. All of it just because of a massive diamond rush. That was Kolmanskop. But you know how these stories go. The diamonds ran out, the people packed up and left, and the desert, well, it just moved right back in. Now you can walk into these homes and find entire rooms just filled with sand dunes literally cresting over the windowsills. It's a surreal and honestly a strangely beautiful sight. Now let's head over to Japan to a place called Hashima Island. It got this nickname, Battleship Island, Gunkanjima, because seriously, from the sea with all its concrete buildings crammed together, it looked exactly like a warship. It was this crazy, crowded, totally self-contained city built for coal mining. And then, just like that, it was over. The year was 1974. The coal was gone, the mine shut down, and thousands of people left, abandoning this concrete fortress to the wind, the rain, and the sea. And for our last boomtown, let's head to Bodie, California. This is your classic American gold rush story. And just like the others, when the gold was gone, the people were too. But what's so cool about Bodie is that it's been preserved in what they call a state of arrested decay. Basically, everything was just left. It's a real ghost town where you can see nature slowly, quietly creeping back in. All right, for our final story, we are going way, way back in time. This isn't about a single disaster or a boom and bust economy. This is about the slow, unstoppable force of time itself and how it can swallow even the mightiest empires. So, we're in Cambodia at the incredible site of Angkor. For centuries, this place was the spectacular capital of the Khmer Empire, home to the famous Angkor Wat. And get this, at its peak, this was the largest pre-industrial city on the entire planet. Just think about that.
So, what happened? Why would anyone abandon a city this magnificent? Well, historians are still debating the exact reasons, but it seems like it was a perfect storm of things: environmental problems, new trade routes popping up, and constant fighting. As the empire weakened, the jungle just started creeping in. Slowly, patiently, it began to swallow the city whole. And the result today? It's just an incredible, almost unbelievable sight. You see these massive, muscular tree roots that look like they're literally flowing over and gripping the ancient stone walls. It's this beautiful, powerful display of nature versus human engineering, frozen in time for all of us to see. So, after visiting all these silent, forgotten places, what's the takeaway? What's the thread that ties a nuclear disaster zone in Ukraine to a desert ghost town and an ancient Cambodian temple?
Well, it really seems to boil down to three patterns. First, there's sudden disaster, right? Like in Pripyat and Krakow, it's a stark reminder of just how fragile everything is. Life can freeze in an instant. Then you've got economic collapse, like our three boom towns. It shows that these huge projects we build can be totally abandoned when their one and only purpose just disappears. And finally, there's just this slow, relentless march of time, which is what got Angkor. It proves that even the greatest, most powerful empires are really just a single chapter in a much, much longer story.
And all of this, all these stories, they really leave us with one big, powerful question. It's a pretty humbling reminder that no matter how permanent our concrete and steel buildings seem, nature is always there, just waiting. It really makes you think,